Hello, today I'm going to talk about the major vitality buff in the game. And for anybody that doesn't know what that does, you can check that out here. If you go to help, you go to tutorials, and you go down to the very bottom and then come up from that and go up to combat. Combat is a little bit closer to the bottom, so that's why I go down there. Then you go down into this menu and you go down to the named buffs section. And once you're on this, you don't have to go in the menu. You can just scroll down here using your right stick on your controller. And you want to get to the vitality buff. So what this does is it increases whoever has the buff. It increases their healing taken or received, as well as their damage shield strength size. If you have minor vitality, it will increase those components by 6%. Or if you have the major version, it will increase that by 12%. And why that is important is if you're dealing with mechanics in the game that are considerably lethal, then uh, having that buff in place can be really helpful on getting through the mechanic and ensuring the person doesn't die and you succeed at getting through that. There's not a very large amount of places that you can get major vitality in the game, and so it can be a very powerful tool on using it. So I'm going to tell you there are a couple of things you can do in the game to get major vitality. Uh, let's go through the sets that provide that first. One of them is from the Black Rose Prison Mender's Ward. This will give the person that you're casting the ward on major vitality for 4 seconds. However, that will pigeonhole you into having to use the skill from the Resto staff, the Steadfast Healing Ward. You can use the other morph, obviously, but I believe this one is the better morph. And so this will give you a shield that heals the person, and then the staff itself will give them major vitality. That's a very powerful, potent buff to give. Now there's another skill here in the game. I don't have it actually leveled up on this character. The Undaunted Bone Shield. If you morph this to Bone Surge, this will grant major vitality for 6 seconds. The problem is that only one ally can hit the synergy, so that can be problematic because if somebody mistakenly steals the synergy from the person that needs it, then they're not going to get the vitality bonus. So just keep that in mind. That's a single target ally can hit the synergy there. I'm not sure if that transfers over to multiple people or not, because it doesn't say allies in the tooltip, it says an ally. So that could be problematic and just something to keep aware of. There are some selfish sets in the game that give major vitality. I'm not going to cover those in this because the idea here is in what I'm talking about is to provide major vitality to somebody. And so the only other resource in the game outside of the method I'm going to talk about in a minute is when you go into the Nightblade here and you use the ultimate. You have to use the Soul Siphon morph. If you use the Soul Tether morph, you do not get major vitality in this. What this one does, this is a PvP morph technically. It heals for half the initial damage, and tethered enemies are taking constant damage, and uh, healing from the damage caused is given to you. Um, so that's the other thing. This is more of it heals you rather than um, anybody else. But this is the morph you want to use for PvE healing if you are using the siphoning skill line. So the heal lasts for 4 seconds, as well as the major vitality buff on this. So just keep in mind, if you're going to coordinate this to be your source of major vitality, it is coming from an ultimate. So you are going to have to depend on not casting your ultimate and holding it for certain phases. And the other downside to this is it only lasts for 4 seconds. The plus of it is it will hit your entire group. It's got a very large radius of 28 meters. So it will hit your allies, plural, all of them. But it is only a 4-second duration for the buff. So that's the one downfall of this. Well, I should say twofold. Is it doesn't last for very long, and it is tied to an ultimate. So you can't just readily just use this whenever you want to. You have to make sure that you have your ultimate ready to go and use that. So um, back out of that now that I've covered that. So now I'm going to get into where I recommend using, or I should say obtaining, major vitality, and that is from the Wield Soul spell in the Scribing. Now I recommend using a damage shield because what we're buffing is healing received and damage shields, and so most of your rest of your healing kit likely has heals in it, so we're going to give them a damage shield while we're at it because this damage shield is quite large. It's 10,075 and it lasts for 6 seconds. And so if you're wanting to see what major vitality will do to that buff, or that shield rather, then you can take your 10,075 and you multiply it by 1.12, and that will tell you that the shield will actually go up to 11,284 with the major vitality buff tacked on. Now it doesn't change the tooltip when you add this, but because you are giving them that buff, the shield will automatically be that big. I recommend one of these two here for your signature script. If you're on a build that you struggle with sustain and having trouble casting spells, you're probably going to want to go with this one because it's going to make the spell cost 600 magicka less, which will drop your cost of your spells significantly, and it will be easier to spam if you're trying to hit this on multiple people in a short period of time. But I like to use this Sage Heal here because then it kind of mimics the Healing Ward spell in the Restoration Staff here. I already have this slotted and set up in that manner, so I'm just going to go into the Resto Staff here and show you a quick side by side here. So the Healing Ward, for example, at full is at 8217, and it heals for 45% of the shield remaining strength every second. So to get the amount of the 45%, it's going to heal for 3,697 for the first tick of a heal. However, if that shield breaks, and that's probably pretty common that's going to break, shields are they break pretty easily in content, so just keep that in mind. If your heal is tied to that shield and it disappears, it's going to diminish that healing really quickly. Whereas this one, it's going to provide the shield, but then the healing and the major vitality both last for 10 seconds regardless of what happens there from there on out. And you can reapply that shield and heal, and it will it will continue to heal and shield you. So basically what you're going to want to do is make sure that you are uh, getting that on your build in certain situations and using it um, to help you out for the ice cages specifically, or if your heal or your tank is going through a heal check of some kind. But that's what I would suggest using. It is a single target, so it's not um, an AoE, which would be beneficial. I know you can go into other spells like Soul Burst, and Vitality is not a choice there. Um, if you're using Mender's Bond, for example, then the minor version of it is on that. It's not major. So you could stack this, for example, if you wanted to. You could go with a damage shield here and Knight's Valor. I would recommend Knight's Valor for sure. This reduces the amount of block cost for your tanks, and so you can really just put that on your bar and help your tanks out with block mitigation and block cost. And then if you're tagging major and minor vitality on there, you can increase healing taken and shield size by a total of 18%, which is pretty considerable. So just keep that in mind. It's not for every situation, but it's a tool in your toolbox that you can put in there and use, and you can plug it in where and when you need it. But I just wanted to make a video on that because I haven't heard very many people talk about the usage of Wield Soul. In most cases, when you're talking about a major buff in Scribing, the major component for the affect scripts don't transfer to other players. So as you can see, this just says grants major vitality, whereas if you go on the banner and you wanted to try and give your group savagery and prophecy, it only grants you, as you can see in the verbiage there, it only grants you that buff. So Wield Soul is unique in that you can provide major vitality to whoever you apply the spell to. So check this spell out, see if it's helpful for you. Again, it's not for every situation, but you might need it for something, and it might be the ticket to help you get out of the trouble there. I'm going to end the video there. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video or thought it was helpful, please check out my channel and see if there's anything else you'd like. I've got all my videos organized in my created playlists. If you go into my channel and go down to my created playlists, there's folders there that are organized by subject, so that if you're not a wide range player and you focus on one role, I've got tank folders, DPS folders, healing folders there. Check out my channel and see if there's anything else there that might interest you. I've got a lot of videos out there now for this game, and I'm trying to get as much content out there to cover the stuff that I don't see covered a lot. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.